Thanks very much indeed, Ewan. It's now time for the first of today's two feature races for the Goodyear Brit Car Endurance Championship, the Endurance and Praga category. The cars will shortly be released from the pit lane. A couple of cars being recovered from the circuit by the excellent marshals and recovery teams at the moment. You can see personnel out on the grid, and we will preview this first race for the Brit Car Endurance and Praga category. Some big news coming from Brit Car, actually announced this morning here at Donington. Next year, Brit Car will be promoting the MSUK British Endurance Championship. So a new initiative for Brit Car for next year. That is big news indeed. Well done to Brit Car. The British Endurance Championship will be taking place, promoted by them. The cars being unleashed from pit road then, as you can see, and there are some awesome cars in this field. You'll notice one of them just being unleashed now. We have a Dodge Viper out there. I believe that's the ex-Craig Wilkins and Aaron Scott Dodge Viper that won in British GT a few years ago. And we've also got an awesome Aston Martin Vulcan. First time we've seen that in the Goodyear Brit Car Endurance Championship. We'll bring you the grid momentarily. It's Praga's to the fore as expected. Now the Praga category will have its own championship. They'll be running from separate grids next season, but they're on the front of the grid here. Number 111 in pole position, the Tim Gray Motorsport car. Tim Gray himself is driving this weekend, but it's Richard Wells who starts that car. Tim Gray will take over at the mandatory pit stop. Alongside them, number 87, the Team J2 Praga. That car is started by Jimmy Broadbent. Yep, Jimmy himself, the great sim racer, is here. He shares with Gordie Much, not with his usual partner Jem Hepworth this weekend. She's racing a separate car. So Jimmy starts, Gordie Much takes over. Second row, number 29, CW Performance. Richard Morris starts that car. Chippy Vesemale takes over. On the second row alongside them, number 91, the Powerhouse Performance car, started by Charlie Martin. Jack Fabi takes over. Row 3, the 85 Praga, started by Ben Collins, yes, he of Top Gear fame. Jay Morton, the ex-SAS soldier, takes over from him. Alongside them, number 77, the Brit Car Endurance Championship leaders, racing in Class 1, the McLaren GT3 of Dave Scaramanga and Will Powell. Dave starts. Row 4, we've got the number 7 VR Motorsports car, that's the Praga of Miles Lacey. He drives solo. And then the Three Lions Praga, number 333 alongside him, also a solo driver, Ash Dibden, at the wheel of that car. Row 5, we've got number 76, the Venture Innovations car, that is the Aston Martin Vulcan. Stephen Tompkins starts, Gleb Stepanovs takes over, the Latvian driver. Alongside him, number 24 of VR Motorsport, that is Jem Hepworth in her Praga, number 24. Row 6, we've got number 3, which is the Tyrannis, driven by Johnny McGregor, the MacG racing car, alongside number 84, which is the Bridle twins. Chris Bridle goes first in that Praga, Ed Bridle takes over. Row 7, we've got the number 16 Red River Sports Ferrari 488 Challenge. Bonamy Grimes starts, Johnny Molem takes over. 160 alongside is the Dodge Viper, started by Wayne Mars. Regular Ferrari racer Tom Jackson will take over. Row 8 is the number 51, which is the Veluga Ferrari 458 Challenge. Lewis Plato starts that car. No relation to Jason Plato, incidentally, of touring car fame. That's taken over by Carl Cavers. Number 31, the Motus 1 Praga of Rod Goodman alongside them. Row 9, we've got number 144, which is the Ferrari 458 of Chris Goddard, no relation, sharing with Charlie Hollings. And number 23, the Fox Transports Nissan GTR GT3. Richard Wheeler starts, Danny Harrison, the reigning Brit Car champion, takes over. On row 10, we've got number 32, the SG Racing Porsche, that's the Cunningham family. Mark Cunningham starts, Peter takes over. Alongside another Porsche, number 69 of Marcus Fothergill and Dave Bennett, with their Porsche 991 Cup car. Dave Bennett starts. Row 11, Team Brits in the number 68 Aston Martin GT4. Bobby Trundley starts, Aaron Morgan takes over. Alongside them, number 58, which is the Ligier JS2R. Charlotte Birch making her debut in that car, normally seen in a Ginetta, as is Jamie Vinol-Meyer, her co-driver. On row 12, we've got the number 99 shared Autosport Seat Cupra TCR. Jonathan Beeson starts, George Healer takes over. Alongside number 60, the EDF Motorsports Seat Martin Byford starts, Ash Woodman takes over. Row 13, we've got the 44 car, the CTR Alpha Tune Seat, started by Alex Day, sharing with Will Foster. Number 9 is the PB Racing Porsche of Peter Erscheg. Then on the 14th row, number 38, the Triple M Automotive Aston Martin, Mark Albert and Dale Albert. Mark starts. Alongside number 63, the AFM Racing Seat Cupra TCR. Mark Havers scheduled to start, sharing with Rick Kerry, although that car was replacing a drive shaft when the cars, shortly before they were due to be released from the pits, so we'll wait to see if that car does make it out. And on row 15 we've got number 22, the Full Throttle Motorsports Seat Cupra TCR. Richard Avery starts, Nick Hull will take over, and 138, I think this car may have had a problem in qualifying, so we'll wait to see if it's out there. I don't think it did a lap in qualifying. The Simpsons Motorsports Audi TCR, Hugo Cook starts, Sasha Kakard will take over. The Audi is there, I can see it there at the back of the field. This is going to be a cracking 1 hour race here at Donington. In pole position, Tim Gray Motorsport. Normally we see Alex Capadia sharing with Richard Wells in that car, the ex-Radical racers. Alex not out this weekend, so team boss Tim Gray is taking over, but it's Richard Wells who starts that car, and he's always a fast starter, so watch for Richard in the early laps. But alongside him is the man I'm sure most of you are watching to see, Jimmy Broadbent. Sim racer extraordinaire and YouTube star, starting from the front row. That car was actually quickest by a couple of seconds in the free practice session this morning. Jimmy starts that car, and Gordy Much, the ex-Ginetta racer, will be taking over. Normally, of course, co-driven by Jem Hepworth. She's driving solo in another car this weekend. 2 more Pragas on the second row. Now, the leading Brit car endurance car is in 6th on the grid. It's the Motor Swan McLaren GT3. Started by Dave Scaramanga, Will Powell will take over. They're leading the Brit car endurance points at the moment. The Pragas, of course, have a separate championship. A couple of contenders for the Praga category championship here this weekend. Have a look at the points in just a second. The points in the endurance category, led by Will Powell and Dave Scaramanga. Second, 3 points behind them, is the Class 3 leaders, which is Marcus Fothergill and Dave Bennett's Porsche. Third is the Audi of Hugo Cook and Sasha Kakard. They're topping Class 4. We haven't got any Class 2 entries except for the Dodge Viper, and that's an invitation class car, so it doesn't score points. In the Praga class, Chris Wesmail and Richard Morris, number 29, are leading the points. That's the red and white car on the right there on the second row. So off we go on the rolling start then. There's that awesome Aston Martin Vulcan. What an incredible car that is. There's the Dodge Viper, 8-litre V10 engine. The big Nissan GTR, possibly the biggest car in this race, the Ligier, started by Charlotte Birch, her first time racing that car. I am really looking forward to this. So Richard Wells is a contender for the Praga title. He's 8 points behind Chris Wesmail and Richard Morris. Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin are still in contention as well. Praga is likely to be the strongest contenders for the overall victory. We'll wait and see how things go. This will be a 1 hour race with mandatory pit stop. Taranis, the yellow car, that's Johnny McGregor. Dodge Viper, previously won in the British GT Championship. White Praga, Richard Wells on pole, Jimmy Broadbent, can he lead into that first corner at Redgate? Richard Morris in the 29 car there, the black and red, starting alongside Charlie Martin, sharing with Jack Fabi in the 91. Ben Collins is next. We all know what he can do. British Formula 3, British touring cars. He's been a Top Gear star as well. So many great racers in this field. I can't wait for this race to get underway. They're forming up 2 by 2 then. Slightly murky conditions here at Donington Park. Getting ready for a start then for the first of 2 races today for the Goodyear Brit Car Endurance Championship, Endurance and Praga categories. A variety of machines out there. It's the Pragas who have monopolised the front of the grid. Richard Wells and Jimmy Broadbent on the front row. The pace car unleashes them, waiting for the red lights to go out, and then 1 hour of racing gets underway. Here we go, down towards Redgate for the first time, and a good start as always by Richard Wells. Johnny McGregor trying to move through in the Tyrannis on the inside, and through the middle goes Ben Collins. He'll try and take the lead as they come down towards the Craner curves for the first time. Oh, we've got a tangle, a couple of cars, there's cars going everywhere. What a mess we've got there. Now who's come through all that in the lead? I'm not sure at the moment. This car's going absolutely everywhere. Richard Wells is in the gravel. I think it was the number 7 of Miles Lacey who got there. There's another one going backwards. What is going on? Oh no, that's one of our championship contenders. The 24 of Jem Hepworth's been hit. That's Dave Bennett's Porsche. They and Bennett and Marcus Fothergill, sorry, the Porsche, they were one of the championship contenders. That's going to be a safety car for definite, and it might well be a red flag. What on earth happened there? It seemed like half the cars were involved there. They were going absolutely everywhere. I don't know whether that was cold tyres that caused that mayhem. That was total chaos there into the first corner. The safety car is going to be scrambled, and I don't know how many cars we've lost from that one. Jimmy Broadbent was involved. Ben Collins, I think that is, with a flat tyre going up towards McLean's there. The rear tyre punctured. Richard Wells' car stuck in the gravel. There's the Ferrari number 144, that's Chris Goddard facing the wrong way. That's further round, that's at the bottom of the old hairpin. Seemed like 50% of the field spun there. That was bizarre. The safety car is going to be scrambled, and we'll pick up the leader, but at present I'm afraid I've no idea who the race leader is, because we lost so many cars in there. Right, let's have a look then. Your leader is Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin. So it's Charlie Martin in that car at the moment leading it. Miles Lacey is second. There's Johnny McGregor third in the Tyrannis, and fourth is the Nissan GTR of Richard Wheeler. He's gained 14 places in all that. The Aston Martin Vulcan is next. There's debris all over the road at Redgate. So there's your race order as they have crossed the line so far. The Cunninghams are 6th in their Porsche. So who have we lost? Rob Goodman is into the pits in his Praga. So involved there, by the look of it, are nearly all the Pragas. Who else hasn't come through? Yeah, Richard Wells we know is involved. The Fothergill Bennett Porsche we saw smashed into there, that is. Jem Hepworth tangled with that car. Richard Morris, number 29, hasn't come through. Ben Collins, 85, we saw, I think was the car with a flat tyre. Ash Dibden, 333, hasn't come through either. It seemed like nearly all the Pragas, except for... that was Richard Morris we saw caught a glimpse of there. There's one car making its way very slowly through McLean's corner there. That's either Ash Dibden or Ben Collins, I think. No, Ash Dibden's made it into the pits according to the side of the screen, so that must be Collins. What on earth happened there? I've never seen so many cars spin at the same time. Was it cold tyres? So your leader is Charlie Martin, number 91. Of course, Charlie's aiming her career to be the first transgender driver to race at the Le Mans 24 Hours. Sharing with Jack Fabi. Began his career in the Junior Saloon Car Championship that we'll see race here tomorrow. They are still in contention for the Praga Championship, and their main rivals both wiped out in that first lap pilot. Dodge Viper at the back of the field, so that's been involved as well because they're at the back. Well, there's one of the Pragas in the pits, the 333 that is, of Ash Dibden. That's the Three Lions car. And it looks like he's out of the race, he's getting out. So clearly damage to that Praga. Very futuristic looking cars, aren't they, the Pragas? Built in the Czech Republic, powered by 4-cylinder Alpine Renault turbo engines. So we seem to lose about 3/4 of them in that early incident. There's Miles Lacey, another of our YouTubers in this race. That beautiful blue and gold number 7 Praga up there in second behind Charlie Martin. Oh my goodness, look at that! That's Ben Collins, 85. That's not a Praga, that's a crab going that sideways. That has well and truly bent its rear suspension. No wonder it was coming down so slowly. I thought it was a puncture at first, but the car completely sideways, crabbing its way round towards the pits. Some of the TCR cars further back out. Change of car for one of those TCR cars. Jonathan Beeson and George Healer. They were listed as driving a Seat Cupra. That's a VW Golf. So change of car there. Rod Goodman back out. That's the number 31 Motors 1 Praga. Johnny McGregor up there in the Tyrannus in third place. And there's the Aston Martin Vulcan. Gorgeous car that is. Mark Cunningham at the wheel of the 32 Porsche. Then we've got the first of the Ferraris, number 51. Lewis Plato at the wheel of the Italian tricolor liveried Ferrari. He's come up through the world of radical racing, now races Porsches as well. So the clear-up operation still going on. There's the 84, that's Chris Bridle. There is Dave Scaramanga in the number 77 McLaren. That's currently running in 9th and 3rd in Endurance Class 1 behind Johnny McGregor and Richard Wheeler. Safety car still out at the moment. While the safety car is out, I think we can hear from Ewan Dunlop down in pit lane. I think he's talking to Ashley Dibden.
And Ashley, chaos first lap. What happened from your point of view?
Yeah, so going into the first corner, I think it was a couple of cars had a little bit of contact with one on the spun. Pretty soon we all had to get on the brakes as the car was sliding across the middle of the track. I think we all saw it, but I think the rest of the field, with traffic, didn't quite see it, so we slowed down, and then I got a fairly hard hit to the rear, which unfortunately has done the rear floor, rear suspension, rear upright, so we're out for this one.
Out for the day or just out for the race?
Hopefully just the race. The boys are already on it to try and get it ready for the second race. I think it looks worse than it is as soon as it comes straight off the track. I think the boys have got all the bits, so just in case, as long as we've got the time to bolt it all along, we should be hopefully out to try and make amends for the second race.
It was a crazy first lap. I think about 6 or 7 cars were involved, so sadly you were one of those, but best luck getting it fixed. Hopefully see you out for race 2. Cheers Ashley. Back to you Dave.
Thanks Ewan. Ashley Dibden out of the race. Hopefully we will see him back out later on. waiting for a restart. There's still, as you could see, debris being cleared. Is it going to be what often happens in Brit car endurance races, and we'll have the safety car out right up till the pit window opens?
How long have you got?
We'll wait and see. A few minutes more yet.
Did we get a 2-minute shot? I'll just vote it.
Richard Wells is back out. We can see him at the back, so watch for that car coming through the field. That's spun into the gravel, of course, at Redgates. Rod Goodman is there. He's been into the pits. Who else has made stops and gone back out? I don't think anybody has. The Ferrari of Bon Grimes and Johnny Molam is in the pits, so they were involved there. We know Ben Collins and Jay Morton's car is done for this race with that bent suspension. Richard Morris and Chris Westmail's car is in as well. Ashley Lipton we've heard from. And the Hugo Cook Sasha Caccard Audi, which is leading the points in Class 4, has been into the pits twice. There's the Ligier JSR2. The only example of its kind in the UK, that is. Rebuilt after a smash at Silverstone at the start of the season. Now driven by a new crew, Charlotte Birch and Jamie Vinnell-Meyer. So Fabian Martin lead the way in the Praga, Miles Lacey in second, Johnny McGregor third. He leads Class 1. Class 3 is being led by the Cunninghams in their Porsche. The other Porsche of Fothergill and Bennett's clearly out of the race with that damage, with that collision with Jem Hepworth. So that could put them out of title contention. Leading Class 4 is Team Brits, the Aston Martin, Bobby Trundley and Aaron Morgan. Team Brit, of course, offering rehabilitation through motorsport for those suffering physical and psychological handicaps. Bobby Trundley currently driving that car, the autistic racer. Aaron Morgan, his partner, the wheelchair-bound driver. He's previously raced successfully in BMWs. Jimmy Broadbent's still going, and he is in 10th place after that spin. There's the big Nissan GT3 of Richard Wheeler. Stephen Tompkins in the Aston Vulcan. Team Brit, the Aston Martin, up in 11th place. Still clear up going on out there. There's the Audi of Cook and Caccard. Hugo Cook, the youngster, on board at the moment. We've got about 23 cars left running. Meanwhile, pace car is pulling in. It's time to go racing once again with 47 minutes on the clock. Here we go, and look at Johnny McGregor in the Tyrannus using the grunt of his V8 engine straight down the inside, and the Nissan GTR is in there as well, and the Aston Vulcan. Miles Lacey's been swallowed up there in the Praga. He drops away. They come through towards the Craners. It's still Charlie Martin that leads the way in the number 91 Praga. The Tyrannus up into second place. You can see a bit of cement dust being kicked up there at the Craner curves just about, as the leaders head up towards McLean's. They head out of McLean's. It's the Tyrannus up into second place. Third is the Nissan of Richard Wheeler. He's followed by Miles Lacey, who's held fourth ahead of the Aston of Stephen Tompkins. Then it's Mark Cunningham, and then we've got the first of the Ferraris, Lewis Plato. Very quick sports car racer indeed. They fan out across the straight. Look at the Tyrannus down the outside. That is so powerful in a straight line with that V8 engine. The Tyrannus takes the lead into the Fogarty S's. Now we have got a proper race on our hands after the early delays. Out of the Fogarty S's down to the Melbourne hairpin. Here's the Aston up the inside. Stephen Tompkins will take third place, where there's Will Powell under fire from Jimmy Broadbent in the number 87. Praga all over the back of the McLaren GT3. Just ahead of them is Chris Bridle in the number 84 Praga. So McGregor leads it. The Aston up into second place. What's happened to Charlie Martin? She's dropped back. Well, the Pragas really seem to be struggling in this one. We lost most of them early on. The ones that are still in the battle are starting to lose pace. Yeah, I think the 91 car might have a problem here because Mark Cunningham's Porsche has come through now. It's over 45 minutes of this race to go. And it is Johnny McGregor in the Tyrannus, who's been with Britcar for quite a few years now, who leads the way. And they go towards McLean. Stephen Tompkins giving chase. The first time we've seen the incredible Aston Martin Vulcan in a Britcar race in second position. Here's the battle for third between Richard Wheeler. That Nissan will really fly when Danny Harrison, the former Praga racer, takes over. Then we've got Miles Lacey. Then it's Mark Cunningham, Lewis Plato, Chris Bridle, and the rest of them. Now, Stephen Tompkins is not hanging about. The Vulcan underneath the rear wing of the Tyrannus. Then the Nissan GTRs. Incredible cars in this race. Jimmy Broadbent up the inside. Goes past, I think that was Charlie Martin. Yeah, Charlie Martin, I think, has got a problem with that 91 car. Aston Vulcan, such a futuristic looking machine, isn't it? The first two going clear of Richard Wheeler's Nissan in third. As we say, that car will properly fly back up the order when Danny Harrison takes over at the pit stop. They rumble their way across the line. 7 laps completed. Not surprisingly, Tompkins has done the fastest lap of the race, 1:32.776. Here comes Chris Bridle down the inside in the blue Praga, attacking Mark Cunningham. Up the inside, takes 6th position away. Leaders come down the spectacular Grainer curves, then it's onto the brakes for the old hairpin. Still Johnny McGregor who leads the way. He's won a few Britcar races in his time with the Tyrannus. He's got a few other cars in his collection as well. We'll see him out in the trophy category races tomorrow with his Mazda RX-8. He's raced an Arinara Husaira briefly with Britcar as well. That's a Polish-built car. Let's see if Stephen Tompkins can challenge him. Gleb Stepanov, the Latvian, will take over from him. There's Miles Lacey in the beautiful number 7 Praga, the VR Motorsport car. McGregor's got the straight line speed advantage though, with the V8 engine in that car. And a gap back to Wheeler third, Lacey fourth, Lewis Plato fifth. Jimmy Broadbent making a move there on Mark Cunningham's Porsche. Trying to come through. Things starting to sort themselves out after the earlier chaos. Here comes Chris Bridle. He's going well, the 84. They've had a couple of podiums this year, Chris and Ed Bridle, the brothers. They're looking for another one here. Not too long now until the pit window opens. There's Lewis Plato in the Ferrari, number 51. Got ahead of Miles Lacey now, and Chris Bridle round the outside in the 84, and that's the 87 of Broadbent coming up behind them. Jimmy Broadbent on the charge, back up the order, sharing with Gordy Much in that 87 car, the ex-Ginetta. There's Team Bricks, the Aston Martin, number 68, Bobby Trundley leading Class 4 ahead of Martin Byford, the ex-touring car racer, in his Seat Cupra TCR. Third in that class, Alex Day, number 44. Richard Wheeler still holds third. There's Lewis Plato. Great to have him in Britcar, the Porsche Cup racer. Been a radical champion as well. Okay, the pit window is going to open very shortly. See the board go out from the start-finish line. Leaders through the Melbourne Loop. Tyrannus leads the beautiful Aston Martin Vulcan. McGregor from Tompkins. To third is Lewis Plato, the Nissan GTR being shuffled back there, the Fox Transport car. In fact, it could lose 4 places because the Pragas come through as well. Over the line they go. About a minute left before the pit window opens, so next time around we should see the first cars coming in to make their mandatory stops. Another fastest lap of the race for Steve Tompkins, 1:31.407. Now he won't pick up points, the Aston Vulcan, towards the Brit Car Championship because that's an invitation class car. It doesn't fit the full Brit Car regulations, so it has to run an invitation class, as does the Cavers and Plato Ferrari, which is now third ahead of the Bridles in the Praga. There's the other Ferrari, that's Chris Goddard further down the order after that spin earlier on. There he is, the blue Ferrari. There's Richard Wells hammering his way back up the order after that spin at the start. Now where is he in the order? He's a lap down, so he's down in 22nd place. Through the foggy S's come the leaders, well clear of their opposition. They're about 7 seconds clear of the Plato Ferrari last time through in third place. Stephen Tompkins is shadowing Johnny McGregor for the lead. He's got his headlights on. You can see them shining on the back of the Tyrannus there. But once it's got properly going. A great race here for the Goodyear Brit Car Endurance Championship, Endurance and Praga categories. The 87 car flying back up the order after that earlier delay. The pit window, I can tell you, is now open, so we'll see the first of the mandatory stops coming soon. No pit penalties for this race. We will see the top three in each class get additional seconds added onto their pit stops in race 2 later on. There's Plato in third, then the Pragas of Bridle and Lacey. The first car to come in is Jimmy Broadbent. Gordy Much is going to take over the 87, so Broadbent and Much are in the pit lane. They're the first to make their mandatory stop. Wait to see how everything cycles through during the pit window. Who's going to come out with the lead? Fastest lap of the race just done by Miles Lacey, number 7. That's good. He has really learnt quickly, a virtual novice coming into this season. Very impressive in the Prague. Still Johnny McGregor leads in the Tyrannus. Similar in shape to an Ultima GTR. Stephen Tompkins second in the Aston Vulcan. Between these two for the lead, down to the hairpin they come. Anybody else made their pit stops? Yes, Chris Goddard has come in the blue Ferrari to hand over to Charlie Hollins. Charlie, the quicker of the two in that car. The Alberts family Aston Martin has come in as well. Mark handing over to Dale, I think, in that one. And Richard Wells has come in to hand over to Tim Gray. Tim Gray probably the quicker of those two drivers. The Audi TCR is back in, although we've known that car has made a couple of stops already, so that car may be having further problems. Leaders are still going. Miles Lacey is now up to fourth. He's got ahead of Chris Bridle in the, and that's for the lead of the Praga category as well. As he said, the Pragas will have their own dedicated grid next year, the Praga R1 Championship in the UK. The lead gap just over half a second, but if anything, it's increased a little now. I just think Johnny McGregor has pulled away slightly on this lap. Plato still third, then Lacey, Bridle, Mark Cunningham. We've got more pit callers. Richard Wheeler's come in to hand over to Danny Harrison in the Nissan GTR. Charlie Martin has come in. Jack Fabi will take over there. And Dave Scaramanga, not surprisingly, is in. Will Powell will make that McLaren fly when he takes over from the ex-saloon car racer. The Dodge Viper is in as well. Wayne Mars, regular Ferrari racer, has brought that in. Tom Jackson will take over the big red Dodge. There's Plato through in third place. Anybody else going to come in this time? There's the Ligier, Charlotte Birch on board. Where is she in the order? 18th place at the moment. That's a minimum pit stop time of 2 minutes, so you lose pretty much 2 laps making your stop here. You've got to wait for everything to cycle through. Just under 36 minutes left as a plane takes off there from East Midlands Airport. Said it was only next door. Johnny McGregor continues to lead. Miles Lacey's brought the Praga in this time through. Let's see if there's any more pit callers. Rod Goodman has risen back up the order. He came into the pits after the first lap carnage, so he's got to make another stop. He's taking the opportunity to make up as much ground as he can. There's number 44, that's Alex Day, sharing with Will Foster. That's one of the Cupra TCR cars, running in 10th place overall at the moment. There is Rod Goodman, number 31. He's back up to 7th place now, but of course he has to stop again. His first pit stop was outside the window checking for damage. So 35 minutes to go in this first Goodyear Brick Car Endurance Championship race of the day. There's the 87. Gordy Much is now on board that car. He'll try and pull that back up the order. It's fastest in practice, second in qualifying. Can he and Jimmy Broadbent win here today? There's the battle between the Nissan GTR. That's Danny Harrison that's just got on board that car, and the 87 making a move there. Down the straight there, the two Pragas on the back of the Nissan. This is for 15th place at the moment. Of course, these cars have already stopped. So Much has taken the number 91 of Jack Fabi there. There's the car that is still leading Class 4. Bobby Trundley on board. He has yet to stop. In fact, we've got a car stopped there. That's Mark Cunningham's Porsche. It stopped on the exit of the Melbourne hairpin. He was 6th overall and he was leading Class 3. Now there's something clearly very wrong there, and if that car can't be moved, we'll have the safety car out, and that will lead to everybody else coming into the pits en masse, I would think. There's the beautiful Dodge Viper. I think we can hand down to Ewan Dunlop in the pit lane.
Down here in the pit lane with Jimmy Broadbent. Jimmy, talk us through that first lap.
Chaotic, I think, is a good word to use for it, isn't it? Well, on the outside, got an okay start, and I was sort of side by side with Wells going in T1. Then Stig comes flying through the middle, and then after that, I didn't really see what happened. Everyone went flying off into the road, cars everywhere. I had to go into the gravel, see if that would go into the side of Richard, and I lost a lot of places, but the car was okay. It's the important thing. But yeah, I think I've seen it all now.
To your advantage, it was a lot of Pragas, so it's sort of knocking you out the places a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think we've got 3 or 4 of them are out after that, including a couple of the championship runners, which we know doesn't really bother us. We're not in the running for it, but place-wise it's good. Gordy's out now, so we'll have to see where we end up, I guess.
I mean, you take what you get in motor racing, don't you know? Did you say anything to Gordy before you took over?
I just told him where all the fluid was, because there's a lot of fluid down the Carina curves, which is a scary place to have it. So. But I think once you've got the downforce on, it's okay. First lap's a bit scary, but yeah.
Jimmy, great stint, well done. Speak to you later. Good luck.
Thank you, mate.
Back to you, Dave.
Okay, thanks very much there, Ewan. Great to hear from Jimmy Broadbent. After his stint, he was flying in the Praga. Unfortunately, the safety car has been scrambled, as I expected. That will be because of the Cunningham family Porsche stranded on the Melbourne Loop. There's the safety car. Now it has currently picked up the Bobby Trundley Aston Martin. That's because I would imagine the rest of the leaders are going to come into the pits. Chris Bridle has come in to hand over to his brother Ed. The Byford Woodman Seat Cupra has come in. There's the reason for the safety car. The Porsche stopped on the track. I suspect we're going to see the 2 leaders come in this time. There's the Dodge Viper. Isn't that beautiful? Brutal looking car. Now there's the McLaren, looking to win Class 1 today. Okay, the 2 leaders have come in. Yeah, McGregor's in, Tompkins is in, Lewis Plato is in. So all of the top 4 have come in. So the safety car has now, in fact, got the de facto race leader, because Bobby Trundley is the first car that is yet to stop. Everybody else has come in. Now, who else is in this lap? Yes, Martin Byford's in. Hand over to Ash Woodman. Alex Day in the Cupra is in. Will Foster will take over there. Jonathan Beeson and George Healer are in their TCR Golf. Peter Ersek's Porsche has come in. Richard Avery, sharing with Nick Hull, has not stopped. So they're technically second overall at the moment. There's the 87, Gordy Much on board. Danny Harrison behind him. Now, let's have a look, because that might well become the battle for the lead. Jack Fabi's in there. Will Powell's now on board the McLaren, that's been. So that could become the battle for the lead. We'll see what happens when everything cycles through in the next couple of laps. But that could become your battle for the lead. Your leader at the moment is Bobby Trundley in the team Brit Aston Martin, leading Class 4. Okay, we can now hand back down to Ewan Dunlop in the pit lane, and he's talking to Charlie Martin.
Get a chat with Charlie Martin if she'll speak to us. Charlie, could we get 2 secs? Thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt. What a start to the race. Talk us through your point of view.
Yeah. I mean, wow, what a start to the race. First corner, just I don't know. I had a feeling in my gut maybe something like that was going to happen, and I saw I think it was the white car of Tim Gray and Richard Wells going around, and then suddenly that, in a split second, that just escalated. I saw cars facing the wrong way, bits of bodywork, managed to pick a clear way through, and then. I think Miles and I were trying to think. There were a couple of other cars, but anyway, we managed to get them to first place. And pretty intense. Obviously, behind the safety car, trying to keep some kind of temperature in the tyres. But after 3-4 laps was it? That first lap was quite stressful because, on the one hand, you're leading the race. You think fantastic, but on the other hand, you're like, I know I've got no tyre temp, and the last thing I want to do now is bin it at turn 1. On the second lap, the Nissan just outpowered me down the straight. Came through at Redgate, and it was so annoying. It just pushed me offline, and I think everybody just formed an orderly queue behind him, and there was nothing I could do really, just to try and then catch everybody back up. But we're still in a strong position. I think we got a good pit stop in, and I think there's everything to play for. So we could still. I think we're potentially looking at a good podium.
I mean, you've had some bad luck this season. You had some good luck today already. I mean, we just spoke to Jimmy. He said he just survived through that first corner because it was a lot of the Pragas that went off, and your 2 championship rivals were ahead of you and now well behind you. This could be a great first race of the day.
It could be. I think if we can, I need to see where things are. Obviously, we just had all the pit stops happening, so positions are changing all the time. But as you say, if we can come through this race with a good finish, especially now knowing that obviously people have picked up damage and they're on the back foot, we could.
It could be an incredible day.
It could be an incredible day. Let's leave it at that. Yeah.
Thanks for talking to us. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dave.
Okay, thanks very much, Ewan. The errant Porsche you can see there is back in the pit lane of Mark and Peter Cunningham, being pushed in. And the last couple of cars have made their pit stops. The Hull and Avery Seat Cupra TCR. Nicole coming back out in that car, the ex-Porsche racer. I can tell you the leaders have been in as well, and Bobby Trundley and Aaron Morgan. So it's Aaron Morgan on board the Aston Martin for Team Brit now. So now we've just got to wait and see where everything cycles through, really, over the next couple of laps. Everybody has made their mandatory pit stops. Wait to see if the advantage was enough for Stephen Tompkins and Johnny McGregor. They're going to keep their lead here. They're just completing their out laps at the moment. Safety car still on track, as you can see. Should go green flag racing very shortly. There is Aaron Morgan just ahead of the 87, which is Gordy Much. Behind him is Danny Harrison, and then Jack Fabi with the number 91 Praga. 26 minutes of this 1 hour race still to go. There's that beautiful Dodge Viper chasing Rod Goodman in the Praga. Behind him Charlie Hollings, very quick racer indeed in the Ferrari. Yellow flags and safety car boards still out at the moment. The Audi coming back in again. How many stops has that car made now? I think that's its fourth. Yeah, 4 stops for the TCR Audi. Stepanovs and Tompkins still showing as the leader. Gleb Stepanov, the Latvian, in the Aston Vulcan. There he is. There is Johnny McGregor, and they're almost a lap apart. Not quite sure how that's happened because they came into the pit lane together. Safety, the lights are out to top the safety car then. So we will see this time through. The green flag this time by. The leaders are going to be unleashed. Into the pit lane comes the safety car. Over the line they go to resume racing here in this Brit Car Endurance Championship, Endurance and Praga category race 1. And yes, Stepanovs and Tompkins still showing as the leaders, almost a lap ahead of everyone else, because there's McGregor showing in second place. Everybody has completed their stops. So this is effectively the battle for second place at the front of the field, but for the win on points, because as we mentioned, the Aston Vulcan is an invitation class car. So Johnny McGregor, the leader, he's in class 1. It's Carl Cavers at the wheel of the Ferrari now, the red, white and green Ferrari 458 Challenge. That's leading class 3 invitation. And then we've got the first of the Pragas, Ed Bridle and Miles Lacey, 4th and 5th. Fastest lap of the race, incidentally, has been done by Tim Gray, who's down in 22nd place. That's the 111, the white Praga, which went off and had to pit on the first lap. Battle is on here between the two Pragas. Miles Lacey into the chicane. Oh, they touch on the way in there. Now, have they made it round? See if they come towards us there. Behind Carl Cavers. Have the Pragas made it round? Yes, but it's Bridle that has stayed in front, so they survive that. Behind them, next in the order, is showing as Will Foster. There's the Seat in 6th overall and leading class 4. Who's leading class 3 further back meanwhile? It's the Goddard Hollings Ferrari now, because their main rivals, the two Porsches, both out. There is the Aston Vulcan. There is Dale Albert at wheel of number 38 Aston Martin. There towards the tail of the field at the moment. So the timing screen showing that Stepanovs and Tompkins lead by almost a lap, and this battle effectively at the front of the pack is for second place. But McGregor, then Cavers, Bridle, Lacey, Foster, Peter Erseg in his Porsche is 7th. Then the Beeson and Healer TCR Golf. This is the main focus on track at the moment. This fight for what is 3rd place. Carl Cavers being harried by the two Pragas. Miles Lacey has gone ahead of Ed Bridle there. Lacey, a relative newcomer to motorsport, not just to Brit car racing, and he's absolutely flying along. Chasing Carl Cavers in the Ferrari 458 Challenge run by the Veluga team. Down into the Melbourne Loop they go once again. This is for the lead of the Praga category as well, so Miles Lacey has just taken the lead in his category, attacking the Ferrari. There is Johnny McGregor. Now over the line, his gap to the Aston Vulcan is 1 minute 23.5 seconds. So the Aston Vulcan still on top by getting on towards a lap. But Stepanov's last lap was a 1:35, McGregor's was a 1:31.7. There's the Ferrari chased by the Pragas, and Ed Bridle is not finished yet. He wants a category win. They're all over the back of this Ferrari of Carl Cavers, taken over from Lewis Plater. Miles Lacey to the inside, takes the place away into the old hairpin. Carl Cavers, with all respect to him, not quite as quick as Lewis Plato, who started that car. And up into 6th place, having got past the Seat Cupra, is Will Powell in the McLaren. Now, Will Powell really needs to finish 2nd. Oh, the leader is back in the pits. The Aston Martin has come back in. Now, is that a penalty? I would guess that's a penalty for a short pit stop. We haven't got notification at the moment, but I'm wondering if Gleb Stepanov has come back in for a penalty for a short pit stop, possibly. He's back in the pit lane. We know that. He's heading back out now, but that's going to close things up again. Johnny McGregor is going to close right up on our leader, Gleb Stepanov, I would think now. So now we've got a race on our hands at the front. Carl Cavers has dropped behind the Pragas. There's McGregor. Now, what's the gap to Stepanov's? It's still 1 minute 15. So Stepanov's came in there and almost went straight back out again. He hasn't lost much time. Look at the way Miles Lacey is going in the number 7 up there in 3rd place. He's only less than 7 seconds off McGregor now. The Richard Wells, Tim Gray Pragas a lap down, and in 6th place is Gordy Much in the car started by Jimmy Broadbent. That's flown back up the order. Will Powell is next, but Much has just taken Powell. Then Danny Harrison's Nissan. The Jack Fabi Praga is next, and Rod Goodman rounds out the top 10. So it's all starting to work out again in the pack now that everybody's finished making their stops. Rod Goodman gets past the Ligier there. Ligier JSR2 has got Jamie Vinolmeyer on board. So the Aston Martin Vulcan is leading, but it's just come into the pits and then straight back out again. I'm not entirely sure why. So we'll wait and see what the gap is this time through when they cross the line to complete lap 21. We've got still 18.5 minutes of the race to go. Peter Ersheg there in his Porsche chasing Charlie Hollings in the Ferrari. That's for 12th place. Okay, we'll see what the lead gap is. There is Will Powell sharing the Motor Swan with Moorgate McLaren with Dave Scaramanga, looking to take the Brit Car Endurance title this year. And the lead gap, well, with that pit visit, it's now worked out on the timing. The lead gap is down to 19 seconds. So can Johnny McGregor catch the Aston Martin? Meantime, here comes Will Powell. He's chasing down Carl Cavers, passes the Ferrari into Redgates. Now we've got a race on our hands. Will Powell is chasing now Gordy Much, who's up to 5th in the Praga. After all the mix involved during the pit stops, it's now starting to establish an order once again. Well, Stepanov still leads in the Aston Vulcan, but the Tyrannus is now 19 seconds back, and Miles Lacey is only about 5 seconds off them, and he's the quickest man on track at the moment. There's the 87 of Gordy Much. He's back up to 5th place behind Ed Bridle. There could be a battle soon of 3 cars for the Praga victory. There's Tim Gray. Now he's a lap down, of course, after their pit visit earlier on. There's a couple of cars that have had stop-go penalties for short pit stops. The 44 Seat was one of them. I'm wondering if that's why the Stepanov's Tompkins Aston came in as well. We didn't get notification of why that car came back into the pits. While the action continues then, we'll see what the lead gap is in a second. It's 17 seconds now. Meanwhile, we've got some more from Ewan Dunlop in pit lane.
So here with Richard Morris in the pits alongside Charlie Westman in the car at the moment. Richard, tell us what happened in the opening couple of laps there.
Well, I mean, it was already on the first corner, so I got a great start. I picked up well, was right tucked in behind the pole man going into the first corner, and then the car that had started on the road behind me just pulled out from behind me, drove round the outside. We were all on the brakes, he wasn't. I thought, that's brave. He turned in, he made contact with the white car, with the pole sitter, and the two of them touched, the two of them spun, and they just spun right across the nose of my car, and it broke all the steering on the front end.
Charlie's gone out, so is the car, I'm going to say, is it okay?
It's Chippy, Christopher. We put the car back together as quick as we can. We hope it'll run. The idea was to try and get to the half race distance to get points. We were leading the championship going into this race. We'll have to see what happens after the race in terms of the points and so on. And 111 was definitely pushed back onto the track, which is outside assistance in our opinion. So, that'll be an interesting one as well. Hopefully we might pick up some points for having done this, and we can at least shake the car down and see if we can be in shape for race 2, because you never know what's going to happen in that one.
You've got to say, for the neutral, it's very exciting for you, just frustration at the moment.
It's definitely exciting. I mean, it does really hurt because that wasn't our fault whatsoever. The driver behind made a mistake and caused an incident, and then we've been collected in the incident. But that is motorsport, unfortunately.
You take what you get. We'll keep on watching Chippy and look forward to race 2, but obviously hopefully we get half distance and get some points in as well.
Yeah, if anyone can pull off a miracle, it's this team, so let's go for it.
Best of luck. Thanks for talking to us, Richard.
Cheers.
Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Ewan. Good to hear from Richard Morris there, the man behind the Racing Pride movement for LGBT racing drivers everywhere. Now, let's have a look at the race order. Gleb Stepanov in the Aston Martin Vulcan leads, but only by just over 15 seconds now, ahead of Johnny McGregor in the Taranis, and he leads Class 1. The leading Praga in third is Miles Lacey. He's just under 4 seconds back. And Gordy Much has now got into fourth place, and he's chasing down Lacey. Gordy Much has just done a 1:27.8, by far the fastest lap of the race. So the gold Praga, started by Jimmy Broadbent, is back up into fourth place. The bridal twins, there are the Praga, just saw them together. He's caught Miles Lacey. There's the leader, Gleb Stepanov in the Aston Vulcan. 14 minutes of the race to go. And McGregor there in second place. Miles Lacey third, Much fourth, Bridle fifth. Sixth is Will Powell in the McLaren. Now his objective is to catch Johnny McGregor and get maximum points in his class, looking for the Endurance Championship here today. Seventh, we've got Carl Cavers in the Ferrari, started by Lewis Plato. And Gordy Much has got past Miles Lacey there, coming out of Goddard's. He's up into third place now. Gordy Much is going like an express train here, back up the order, and he's catching McGregor. He's only 2 seconds off the Taranis now, the second overall. And he's caught him as they come towards the Craner curves. No, apologies, that's Tim Gray. Of course, he's trying to unlap himself in the treble one, so McGregor will let him go. Tim Gray, a very quick sports car racer indeed. Further back in the order, we've got Jack Fabi 7th in the car started by Charlie Martin. They've just got ahead of Carl Cavers' Ferrari. Danny Harrison in Richard Wheeler's Nissan is 9th. And the Mars and Jackson car is 10th. The Ferrari, but look at this. Gordy Much up the inside into Coppice, straight past the Taranis and into second overall. Now, the lead gap was down to 11.5 seconds last time through. They're lapping about 4 seconds a lap quicker than the Aston Martin Vulcan ahead of them, because Gleb Stepanov's the slightly slower of the two drivers in the Vulcan. Oh, we've got problems there. Somebody's gone up in smoke. Now, who's that? We can't quite see behind the barriers. Is that the Ferrari? Yeah, Charlie Hollings' name I can see there. So that's the Hollings and Goddard Ferrari 458 that's gone up in smoke. Charlie Hollings is out, he's okay. That car was leading Class 3. So it's all the Class 3 cars that have had trouble, isn't it? The Fothergill and Bennett Porsche was taken out on the first lap. Then the Cunningham Porsche dropped out and brought the safety car out. And now the number 144 Ferrari has gone as well. So leading Class 3 now. Well, Bon Grimes and Johnny Mola have dropped out as well, so there's nobody left running in Class 3. There's Will Powell, where's he up to? 6th place. And closing on Ed Bridle for 5th. We've still got 11.5 minutes of this race to go. Miles Lacey has caught Johnny McGregor. The lead gap is down to 7 seconds, so if we can try and find where Gleb Stepanov's is in the Aston Vulcan, he's surely going to be caught by Gordy Much. There's Miles Lacey, he's in, well, possibly soon to be 3rd place. There are the leaders, they're coming down towards the Fogarty S's now, we could see them in the background. Stepanov's and Gordy Much. Who's leading Class 4? Is it one of these cars? No, it's Peter Erscheg's Porsche. There's the Class 4 leader as the Albert Aston Martin pulls into the pit lane. Possibly a problem for then. Haven't had a notification of any further penalties. Here are the leaders, and look at this over the line. Through goes the 87. Much takes the lead. Down the straight, Gordy Much has done it. So Gordy Much takes Gleb Stepanovs. Now the Praga leads overall. So Johnny McGregor is still third, holding off Miles Lacey. McGregor leading Class 1. Lacey the second of the Pragas, but it's the 87, the gold Praga of Jimmy Broadbent and Gordy Much that leads this race with 10 minutes to go. Gordy Much absolutely flying. He's coming up on Tim Gray. Now we saw Tim Gray unlap himself earlier on. Here they come then, lapping the number 60. That's Ash Woodman in the EDF Motorsports Cupra TCR, started by Martin Byford. So the 87 car leads the Praga Championship. The leading Brit car is the Stepanovs Aston Martin, started by Stephen Tompkins, but that's an invitation class car, so the first point scoring car is still Johnny McGregor in third overall. He leads Class 1. Class 2, we've just got the Class 2 invitation car, which is the Dodge Viper. Class 3, there's nobody left running. And Class 3 invitation is led by the Cavers Plato Ferrari. Carl Cavers on board. Class 4 is being led by the Porsche we see in the foreground there, Peter Erscheg with his Porsche 981 Cayman. Here comes our leader. 9 minutes to go for Gordy Much. Shared by Jimmy Broadbent and Jem Hepworth for the remainder of the season, but Jem Hepworth in a separate car today. She didn't even complete the first lap, sadly. There's the Vulcan still in second, and here comes the charge for third. Miles Lacey up to third. McGregor's under fire from Will Powell. Now McGregor could be about to lose the Class 1 lead. This could be crucial for the championship. And we'll pick up the Tyrannus and the McLaren, because that's for the lead of Class 1. If the McLaren gets through, this will put them in pole position for the championship, because their two rivals in classes 3 and 4 are out of the race, I think. Is the Audi? No, the Audi didn't rejoin after its fourth stop. We know Fothergill and Bennett were out on the first lap. This is all playing into the hands of Dave Scaramanga and Will Powell in the McLaren. There it is, it's on the tail of Johnny McGregor. Now if they can get past McGregor, they're going to get maximum points in Class 1. This is crucial. There goes Miles Lacey, there's the Tyrannus, there's the McLaren. They've got the bridles in their Praga behind them. They've all got past the Aston Vulcan, so that's had a moment somewhere. Miles Lacey's now second, and Powell is not holding back, he's lunging. He will have the signal from his pit that he can take the lead of the class here. This could possibly seal them the Endurance Championship, the Motor Swan with Moorgate team, in the McLaren 650 GT3. Here he comes. He's in the slipstream there as they come down the straight. Can he make the move here at Redgate? McGregor tries to take line. Powell's going to send it up the inside. Is he going to get the lead on the exit here as they come through Hollywood towards the Craner curve? There's Miles Lacey, and the McLaren is through. Will Powell leads the class. And now this could be critical for the championship. There's no dropped scores this year in the endurance category. Will Powell and the Motor Swan team. This is going to be a giant stride towards the championship, with Fothergill and Bennett and Cook and Caccard out of the race. Through they come, up into third overall now, behind Miles Lacey, the Praga leader, scheduled to share the car with James Walker, but he's not here today. And now Ed Bridle's having a go at the Tyrannus as well. Well, after its chaotic start, this has proven to be a brilliant race. Gordy Much continues to lead in the car started by Jimmy Broadbent. Can Jimmy get his first overall win here along with Gordy Much? Bring the house down if he does. Or should that be the shed? Jimmy Broadbent fans will know what I'm on about. As Ed Bridle closes up on the Tyrannus of Johnny McGregor, Mac G as he's known. And there's Miles Lacey, the looking for Praga victory. Will Powell's not content with third overall, he's going for second. Fastest lap of the race is with Tim Gray, who's got the whites Praga back up to 11th overall. A lap down. Who's leading the other classes? Praga is led by Broadbent and Much, the overall leaders. Scaramanga and Powell lead Class 1, we know that. We know about the 3 invitation classes because there's only 1 entry in each one. Stepanos and Tompkins Class 1 invitation. Mars and Jackson the Dodge Viper Class 2 invitation. Plato and Cavers Class 3 invitation. Peter Erscheg's Porsche, there it is, still leads Class 4. There's the McLaren, there's the Tyrannus. Praga being held up briefly here by George Heeler in the VW Golf TCR. Now gets through the Paul Shearer car. 5 minutes to go. Fantastic race this has been. Great drive by Will Powell, the GT3 McLaren, to hunt down Johnny McGregor and pass the Tyrannus. But what a story this is going to be, and Jimmy Broadbent and Gordy Much can win this in the car known as Goldie, number 87. Miles Lacey in second place, so it's YouTubers 1 and 2. There's Miles Lacey, the second car in shot at the moment, coming up on Rod Goodman, who's running 12th overall. They've lapped Peter Erscheg, the Class 4 lead rather, in the Porsche. There's the car of Chippy Westmail, number 29, running a few laps down. We heard from Richard Morris earlier on there, a couple of laps down. In fact, a lot of laps down after repairs. There's the Nissan GTR. That's had a quieter run than usual, it has to be said. Only 8th place, so whether there's an issue with that car, I'm not sure. Still behind Gleb Stepanov. Carl Cavers has now dropped to 9th in the Ferrari. Lewis Plato, the quicker of that pairing, started the car. Rounding up the top 10 is Tom Jackson in the Dodge Viper, started by Wayne Mars, and the Alberts family Aston Martin coming back into the pits again, I noticed there. A lot of cars with problems in this race. Let's hope they can all make it out for race 2. There goes the leader out of the Melbourne hairpin. Just over 3 minutes to go. This incredible first race of the day for the Goodyear Brick Car Endurance Championship, Endurance and Praga categories. And there goes the leading Praga over the line. 31 laps completed. Gordy Much. Well clear of second place now, Miles Lacey. Here comes Lacey. What's the gap this time through? 17 seconds he leads by. Down into the old hairpin. Headlights ablaze to warn the back mark as he's coming. Just as he goes out of sight, there is Miles Lacey appearing at the top of the craners. Scaramanga and Powell still third overall and leading Class 1. The Bridles are now fourth. They've got ahead of Johnny McGregor in the Tyrannus. And 6 behind them, Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin. Heard from Charlie earlier on, she started the car. It's dropped back in the early stages, but Fabi taking over and racing back up the order, now ahead of the Aston Vulcan. The Wheeler and Harrison Nissan GTR GT3 is running in 8th overall, 3rd in Class 1. The Cavers Plato Ferrari rounds out top 10. 9th place, sorry, and not 10th. The Mars Jackson Dodge Viper, top 10. Just over 90 seconds to go then, we should get this and one more lap out of this. Gordy Much goes through. I tell you, the celebrations are really going to start on our YouTube feed after this one. There goes Bridle. There's the Tyrannus. He's being caught by Jack Fabi, so the Praga could make up another place. There's the Dodge Viper. Tom Jackson. The car started by Wayne Mars. Normally races Ferraris, Wayne Mars, a greengrocer by trade, runs a fruit and vegetable company. racing this Dodge Viper. First time in several years we've seen this awesome machine out. Raced by Aaron Scott and Craig Wilkins several years ago in the British GT Championship. Amazing 8-litre V10 engine in that car. There's Carl Cavers in the Ferrari. It's the Beluga run car. Dodge in 10th. And behind him in 11th, it is Tim Gray in his Praga. We've only got a few seconds left, so we'll be on the last lap now. In fact, the race leader's just started his final lap, I can tell you. Gaudy Much. So I'll wait for him to come into sight then. Number 87, Praga, Goldie as she's known, started by YouTube and sim racing sensation Jimmy Broadbent. He's learned his real life racing career this season. Gaudy Much, his junior saloon car and Ginetta Racer taking over, racing through to take the lead. He's almost 20 seconds up on Miles Lacey, another YouTube star, in second place. There he is, Gaudy Much, round Coppice Corner for the final time. It's only the Fogarty S's, the Melbourne Loop and Goddard's Corner to go. And this car is going to surely now come in for its first win. Through the Fogarty S's, out over the top, coming up on Tim Gray in his Praga. Come out of the hairpin. Celebrations will already be starting. This is going to be our most celebrated win of the season in the Goodyear Brit Car Endurance Championship Endurance and Praga categories. We wait for the gold car to come into sight. Here it comes. The checkered flag is in sight. Gaudy Much and Jimmy Broadbent are winners at Donington. A fantastic drive by both of them. Absolutely superb. That is a very deserved victory. Miles Lacey is going to come in second place, a great effort by him as well, and third place, and perhaps the most significant result, Dave Scaramanga and Will Powell in the McLaren GT3. They win Class 1, and their nearest rivals in the championship in Classes 3 and 4, the Porsche and the Audi, not finishing. The Bridals are fourth and third Praga home. Jack Fabi brings the car home, started by Charlie Martin in fifth place. Johnny McGregor is sixth in the Tyrannus. And the car that initially led after the pit stops, the Aston Martin Vulcan, is going to come in for seventh place. Peter Erscheg finishes the lap down in his Porsche. He wins Class 4. The Nissan GTR of Danny Harrison is eighth, started by Richard Wheeler. Ferrari of Lewis Plato and Carl Cavers will come in ninth place. And the Mars and Jackson Dodge Viper will round out the top 10. Here they come over the line, the Ferrari and the Dodge. Last few cars to come in, then confirm the result shortly, but the celebrations will have already started. Celebrations have already started on our YouTube stream, I can tell you, for Jimmy Broadbent's legion of fans in particular. That is a well-deserved victory. We'll check out the results in a moment. Then looks like everybody is in now. I think only 21 cars crossed the line in that one. We will confirm the results as the leading cars come into pit lane. We'll hear from our leading runners in a moment, but here is the provisional result. Broadbent and Much in the Praga take the win. Miles Lacey second, 21 seconds down. And perhaps the most significant result of all, the top endurance class car home, Dave Scaramanga and Will Powell in the McLaren. Is that enough for the championship this year? We'll wait and confirm. The Bridals in fourth, ahead of Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin, and the Tyrannus of Johnny McGregor sixth. Gleb Stepanov and Stephen Tompkins in seventh place. Wheeler and Harrison's Nissan eighth. Cavers and Plato win their class in 9th, and Mars and Jackson likewise in 10th, the 2 other invitation class runners. Tim Gray recovering well after Richard Wells spun off on the first corner. They finish 11th. Rod Goodman 12th. Peter Ercheg wins class 4 in 13th place ahead of the Beeson and Healer. TCR Golf, Ash Woodman and Martin Byford round out the top 15 ahead of Alex Day and Will Foster's Cupra TCR. Then Charlotte Birch and Jamie Vinelmeyer in the Ligier. Bobby Trundley and Alan Morgan, Nick Hull and Richard Avery. The Alberts in their Aston Martin did not make the finish. We saw Goddard and Hollings Ferrari drop out in a cloud of smoke. No finishers in class 3. Wesmail and Morris were still running, but a lot of laps down, and the rest of the field we lost. So we saw the Cunningham Porsche drop out, bring the safety car out. The Cook and Cackard Audi TCR dropping out. That could spell the end of their championship challenge. And the rest of the field pretty much wiped out in the opening lap. Okay. Oh, what a wonderful race that was in the end when it eventually got going. I don't know how to sum that up.
Yeah, Jimmy's done a great job on the first lap. I think it was absolutely amazing. I'm glad everyone's
I know everyone is going to be so pleased for Jimmy Broadbent and Gordy Much there. The Pragas, of course, they're running in a separate championship, so the Brit Car Endurance category winner, Dave Scaramanga and Will Powell. And we can now, while I go to get my breath back, we can hand down to Ewan Dunlop in Park Ferme to talk to our race winners.
3, 2.
Hi, welcome down to Park Ferme. My goodness, what a race! We knew we were up for something special, but that was absolutely incredible. So we're going to try and speak to a few of our drivers now. I'm going to try and get Will Powell. We spoke to Will earlier, winner of the endurance class. Look at these beautiful cars. Look at absolutely incredible. Look, have a little look inside one here. Absolutely insane machines. Will, can we get a chat?
How you doing?
We spoke to you before the race. That went quite well.
Yeah, no, Dave drove a solid first stint, kept us in there. I think there's a little bit of toing and froing to do now after the safety car and the confusion there with the stewards, so let's see. But yeah, as I say, Dave kept us in the race, and the main thing was that we didn't get caught up in that accident right at the start. I think that happened right in front of him, and then I just trying to manage the pace as best I can and get it back, so hopefully a good result.
I mean, that looks really good for you now in the championship.
Yeah, exactly, that's what we're here for, trying to manage the risk. I would have rather had an easier race than that instead of having to have I think Dave got the safety cars and I was having to push a little bit more than we planned, but let's see.
Was there any advice from Dave when he gave you over the
No,
steering
we
wheel?
just do it. We avoid that. It just slows us down in the pit stop. We just do a little fist bump and we crack on.
Well, it worked today. Congratulations. Well, look at the championship table. You might be very, very close to doing it. Got one more race left today, so best of luck. But good luck with your afternoon.
Thank you.
Will Powell, everybody. I think they're very, very close to winning the Endurance Championship. Now, the guy everybody wants to speak to, there's the car here. Where is our car of Jimmy Broadbent? The car's just behind us. The helmet's there of Gordy Much. But I did see Jimmy Broadbent leaning over the barriers cheering as Gordy came through. They might be drinking champagne already, who knows? They were desperate for a podium today. They've got the win in this race. So who else do we want to speak to? I'd love to speak to Jack Fabi or Charlie Martin if they're around. You can see we've got loads and loads of cars here, just not necessarily the drivers. So we'll wait and see. And if you look inside some of these cars, what's interesting, we spoke to one of the technicians earlier, the seats here are covered in gaffer tape, and that is to prevent the heat coming through from the water through into the seat. So guys, if you've got a bit of WD-40 and a bit of gaffer tape, look at what you can do. Right, is that Jack Fabi over there? I'd love to have a chat with him. We can indeed, because they are fighting for the Praga Championship in third place at the moment. Jack, can we get a few seconds with you? Is that all right? So Jack Fabi, Charlie Martin went out first, put you in a fairly good position. How did you finish that race? How was it for you?
Pretty bad, to be honest, for my stint. I don't know what happened in the pit lane. The Nissan overtook me by speeding past me. Will overtook me in the McLaren under a safety car. Then overtook like 3 more cars. No one's doing blue flags. I don't know, but I'm trying to drive smart and to stay out of trouble. There's a lot going on. It's just like chaos for no reason. Big flat spot, big vibration. I don't know where that's come from, but we've closed the gap to Chippy and Richard. Not by a lot, probably not by enough, but it's closed. I just hope the guys that are involved in the turn 1 accident are okay, really. But it was looking really good, but not actually.
It's a really good point to say, hope the guys are okay. And bring Charlie in as well here. Now, we're not sure yet if Chippy and Richard even make half distance. We're not entirely sure. So you could have pulled back a massive number of points here.
Yeah, potentially, but it's a difficult one. I mean, we spent a lot of time under the safety car as well. And then, obviously, to then get overtaken under safety car, overtaken in the pit lane.
Is that something you can look at with the stewards?
Oh, I'm sure the stewards already know about it, but it's a strange one. You know, I've never had that before, where a car alongside me has then been in front of me. Well, I've driven past it and he's in front of me, but hey, it is what it is. I just wanted to put my smart cap on and stay out of trouble. When I saw Chippy, I let him pass. I saw Gordy, I let him pass. You know, we're about finishing the race and scoring points more than anything. So, well done to the guys for finishing with a finish, but hopefully we can turn it into a positive for us.
Charlie, Jack's a little frustrated here. How do you sort of summarise that race?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of my own race, I mean, I feel frustrated because I was in a good position, and it was just one of those horrible ones where the Nissan came through. There was nothing I could do about it, but it just put me in a horrible track position to hold that place, and everybody got through. And obviously, I felt a lot of responsibility because, you know, to hand the car over in a worse position, basically. But I think, you know, Jack did a great job. He held his own out there, and you know, we've got everything to play for in race 2. So let's just, you know, keep moving forwards and
keep the championship fight alive.
Absolutely, mate.
I mean, we can see an incredible partnership here. What are you guys doing? I don't want to jump too far ahead, but next season, are you going to stay together, or what are you up to?
I mean, from my point of view, I'm not too sure. I mean, I'd kind of like to continue the partnership with Praga. I've done a lot for them, they've done a lot for me, so it'd be nice to. I don't think it will, but it'd be nice to. You know, we've been a really consistent driver pairing and done a lot for them, so you'd think they would, but hey ho, I don't know. But I mean, see what happens.
Let's concentrate on today. What are you going to spend the next hour and a half doing?
That's $1 million question. I just thinking about what I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily it does any good to go over what we could have done differently, but certainly in terms of like pit strategy and things like that, just make sure that we've got absolutely all bases covered in terms of strategy, and we're ready for anything that could happen and may well happen based on what that first race looked like, basically.
Guys, you've made progress in this race. Best of luck for race number 2.
Thank you very much.
Wow, what a great interview there with Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin, still fighting for the Praga Championship. I would love to go and find Gordy Much and Jimmy Broadbent, but what I'll do for now is hand back to Dave Goddard, and if we can find them, it will be a fantastic interview, so do come back to us. But for now, over to you.